The Transformation Motivation is a weekly podcast featuring people that have made extraordinary transformations within their health and fitness journey, and maybe even their life. The podcast is an opportunity for real-life transformation stories to discuss their story for others to relate to. Too many times, there are people with these social media transformation stories that have doctored up photos, so we want to highlight real people with real stories people can relate to. We'll get insider strategies, tips, step-by-step of how they did it, and challenges they faced along the way. Now, get ready for the Transformation Motivation Podcast.
What's up, party people? You're now tuned in to the Transformation Motivation Podcast. I am your host, Fit Emmett. Today I kind of feel like Fat Emmett, but never mind that. That's a whole different conversation. Today we have on the show Miss Elena, and she's going to bring us a little bit of her story and kind of talk about, where she started in the process, give you a little background to her and some strategies, tips, and things that you can take away that you can implement. Of course, on our show, I like to highlight social media success stories and kind of see where they started in their fitness journey and some of the things that they've been able to implement that have worked for them. And like I said, maybe you can take some things away that can help you out on your fitness journey as well. So what's up, Miss Elena?
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. So glad to have you on the show again.
I'm glad to be here again.
So a little backstory behind this, just to let you guys know, I am human. So for all my clients that I kind of work with across the world, they think that I'm like superhuman Emmett, like I'm a superhero. But I lose my wallet, keys, and of course I'm not all that tech savvy. So yeah, bit of microphone difficulties, but Elena was gracious enough to let us have just about 15 minutes of her time to give you guys a little bit about her story and her success. And just hearing her story has, I love to hear all of the stories that I have on because it provides me with inspiration. And I hope that, and I get messages from people, but I hope that it helps you in some way, shape, or form. So Miss Elena, tell us who you are, where you're from, where you started, what's your mama's name? I'm just kidding.
Your dog's name, all that good stuff.
All right.
Your social security number and all.
All right.
Well, my name is Elena. I am 34 years old. I am Mexican. So I grew up in a Mexican household, and on my Instagram, you found me. I'm called the Stair Lady not because of the Stairmaster. Everybody thinks that it's that. But I actually, like my husband and I own our own business. We sell stair supplies nationwide. So my customers call me the Stair Lady because I'm pretty much the go-to and, like all that stuff for stair parts. But yeah, like I said, I grew up I grew up here in Texas. I'm from Texas.
So what's the temperature there right now? Is it like hot or extremely hot? Like which one is it?
It's extremely hot. It's extremely hot. It's not like boiling point yet, but it's getting there.
I just feel like in Texas, when somebody says they're from Texas, I just feel like there's only two temperatures, and that's it.
Yeah. It's like, it's hot, which is okay, and then it's like extremely hot, and then it's like your skin is going to peel off hot. So,
like, seriously, legit, are there warnings? Are there like heat advisories, like don't go outside, that kind of thing? Wow.
Yes, we do have heat advisories. Actually, like it was like 2 days ago that we saw on the news that there was like people dying from heat. So it's like it gets pretty ridiculous. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't need
we have to stay hydrated and like in the shade and like try not to go out in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know how people run around in those suits that are like not rubber. What is it? Like a trash bag?
Plastic, yeah.
Yeah, like you can just probably walk outside where you're at and get the same effect, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I went to kickboxing this morning and it was like, whoa, they had like the warehouse door, the garage door open, and I was like, oh no, just close it and turn the AC on, please, because I could just sit here and sweat.
Wow, that adds for a huge air conditioning bill. So let's go back to your story. You're Mexican American. So I take it in my mind, and this is probably my ignorance, is that I'm picturing a lot of beans and a lot of rice. Is that
Yeah.
culturally correct? Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of tortillas. Yeah,
A lot of tortillas,
definitely.
okay.
And like, I love me some flour tortillas. Like, ooh, that's my jam. I love flour tortillas. And we went to eat breakfast this morning, and my husband, like he's also doing keto. He lost 25 pounds, and
Wow.
he's been on maintenance mode for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently like I'm starting to transition into maintenance mode, but he's been in maintenance for like a year, and so he'll have a tortilla here and there occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to sit there and smell these tortillas and just look at these tortillas. And sometimes I'm do even like just put it up to my face and smell it a little bit, but I stay away from tortillas. Yeah, but yeah, I grew up on that like daily, on a daily.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what I guess started with the weight gain, or tell us how you started, or what started with your you know.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
think so. Like, growing up, my mom would try to get us to eat vegetables, and she would tell us, like any good Mexican mom, you can't get up from the table until you finish your food. And so just to make sure that we ate all of our vegetables, because, she's trying to keep us healthy and all. But she didn't realize that, like, along with those vegetables came all that rice and all those beans and all those tortillas. So it kind of like started to plump us up. Both my brother and I, it started to plump us up, and it got to a point where then I know I talked to you about this when we had technical difficulties with the other one. Then it got to where I was starting to gain weight, and she was starting to freak out because she was like, "Oh my God, like like rewind, because like now she's gaining weight and it's getting out of control. Now I need to like get her
Yeah.
under control."
Yeah.
So
And it's crazy because, and we talked about this before too. Growing up in a household with my grandmother, she is the type like you're going to eat all your food. And I think it may have been from the depression, that whole mindset of scarcity. This is all we got. And even that I worked really hard to prepare you this food, so I want to make sure that you eat it.
yeah.
But same thing in my grandmother's household. Like you will eat all your food. You're gonna eat all your food, and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not a question here. Like we're not arguing. It's gonna get done.
And I grew up as a skinny kid, like really, really skinny. So I could eat plates and plates of food and not gain weight. So it wasn't a problem then for me because it wasn't showing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't exhibit any of those characteristics of being obese. I was always just a skinny kid. So for me, that was like, okay, I ate all my food. Let me go play basketball for hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, and I was in sports. I played soccer. I hated it. Like my parents forced me to be in soccer. I was a very active kid. We had like music lessons. We had a lot of things going on. It's just I think that when she like transitioned into, wait, you're gaining too much weight. I need to control this. It was like, no, I want to keep eating. So I would hide from her. Like I would hide my food from her to eat.
Wow.
So I think, a lot of it had to do with that as well. And I was kind of being a little rebellious to trying to say, like, what's wrong with me? Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm going to eat if I want to and stuff like that, But it was getting out of control. And then obviously I told you, like, my quinceañera was coming up, and she wanted me to look really good for that, And she said, we're going to get you on this all lettuce diet, and you're going to be, like, eating lettuce until you're full, and then when you get hungry, you're going to eat lettuce again. So
wow. So give everyone an idea of what a quinceañera is. Like what is that, and why is that so important?
So a quinceañera is like a sweet 16, except Mexican parents take it to the next level, and they will literally go into debt and throw this party because they want the whole world to know that you are becoming a woman. So like, you're no longer this little girl, you're becoming a woman, and like, they're proud of that fact, and they do. Some people do go into debt to like try and throw this party.
Oh, I've seen them. I've totally seen them, and they're really extravagant. And there's a lot of
Yes.
food and a lot of partying, and yeah. So,
Yeah, and there's like, dress changes and, all this stuff going
huh,
on. So my mom wanted me to look like really, really good because my mom has always been thin. So
yeah,
I think in her mind, she wanted me to be that daughter that she wanted to show off, to the world. Like, this is, we all have that. Like, we want our mini me.
pride. Yeah, you have
And
pride.
yeah, so it's like, she wants to be, although I believe she's always been proud of me. I always feel that that's the one thing she's been missing. And it's so funny because right now she reacts to this whole weight loss like it was her doing, like it was like, oh, now you get it. Like now you understand how important it is to be like thin, but she's taking it from like a physical appearance, stance, not from a healthy stance. So
Yeah, got it.
to me,
Two different,
it's
two
more
different
than
mindsets.
physical. It's more about health.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because my,
Uh,
my husband's thin. Like you said, he grew up thin, and he grew up uh, physically looking like he was healthy. But my husband was actually the one with high cholesterol, high triglycerides.
mhm.
He had issues, and he was the thin one. And I remember when we got our blood work done a while back, my mother-in-law would be like, wait, I don't understand. How is he having high cholesterol, high this, high that, and you came back normal?
Yeah,
You're the big one. So
skinny
I'm
fat.
like,
They call them skinny fat.
skinny fat. Yeah, exactly. And I was fat skinny. So, so,
That's funny.
so yeah,
So,
that's pretty much, like how we got started in this. It was
okay,
crazy.
so you got started with keto. Give
Yeah,
us an idea of your weight and your height and all that good stuff when you started with the ketogenic
sure.
protocol.
Yeah, actually, I didn't get started off the bat off with keto. I got started with paleo, and
Okay.
yeah, I started at 256 pounds. Um, it was 256 pounds. I'm 5'4",
Okay.
so that's much weight on a. I consider myself short, but in Mexico, I'm not considered short. So, like here, I'm short. In Mexico, I'm tall.
I'm normal. You're
Yeah,
normal.
like Mexican girls are like 4'11" and 5 feet tall, and so like I'm considered
Man,
tall there.
I would be tall in Mexico. I'm 5'6". I would be
Yeah,
tall
you're
in
gonna be a tall
Mexico.
guy. You're gonna be a tall guy in Mexico.
That's funny.
So I got started because, like I told you, I had gone on this trip with my husband, and when I got back, I felt so uncomfortable that I just needed to do something to
So
feel comfortable with myself. I've always been very confident in myself, no matter what weight. Like that was not an issue for me. The whole physical appearance has never been an issue for me. It was more of how I felt, and it got to a point where I was starting to have trouble breathing, and just walking would make me tired, and just things like that. So when I got back, I started researching what I could do, and I found this 6-week program near my house where they would do 3 times a week exercising, and then I had to be on this paleo diet. At the same time, my daughter had come home from school with a letter saying that I needed to get her checked for pre-diabetes because she's overweight.
wow. And how
So
old is she at the time? How old is she?
she's at the time she was about 8 years old. Yeah, she was 8 years old. She
Wow.
was about to be 9 that summer. So she was 8 years old, and she came home crying, telling me that she was gonna die because the school said that she has diabetes, and her little mind read that wrong.
Mhm.
So of course we were worried, and we were getting, we got her checked and everything, and the doctor said, well, she doesn't have diabetes, but if you don't take control over her diet and kind of control the situation, that's where she's headed. So she is insulin resistant, and she's gluten intolerant as well. So that was something that we didn't know. And when he suggested that we get her on paleo, I thought it was so perfect because I had just gotten that suggested as well at that gym. So we started on this paleo diet, and while I was at the gym during the 6-week transformation program, a girl kept talking about keto, and I just thought she was crazy because, like I said, who's gonna lose weight eating this stuff? Eating all this fat. Like, you're trying to not get fat. Why would you eat fat?
Yeah.
So it was just a little strange to me, you know? So then,
Counterintuitive.
yeah, and then like the 6 weeks came up, and I had mentally prepared myself for a 20-pound loss because I thought, at a 256-pound frame,
Mhm.
that's a pretty, realistic goal of losing 20 pounds in 6 weeks. I had done it before, so like I didn't see why I couldn't do it again,
Got it.
And yeah, I got on the scale and I had dropped like 7 pounds and half an inch off my waist, like almost nothing, and just half an inch to a quarter of an inch, like here and there, and it was just very discouraging. So I was really mad, and I went straight to that girl and I said, okay, I'm gonna try this crazy diet that you're talking about because what else do I have to lose, So okay, let's just tell me what to do. And she said, okay, well, you have to go research. And I was like, what? Why do I have to research? Just tell me what I want to eat, what I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
No, she didn't want to tell me what I should eat. I told you. She said, no, you have to go do your own research because what I eat isn't gonna match what you eat, and it's gonna do you no good if you don't understand. I could sit here and tell you what I eat all day long, but you're not gonna understand, or maybe even lose weight, or maybe you're gonna be hungry all day. So she said you really do need to do your research, and so I was like, all right, she don't want to give me the diet, that's fine. And she gave me a website. She text messaged me a website that night, and obviously I couldn't sleep that night, and I started reading, and the more I read, the more it made sense to me, and I figured, why not give it a go? So the next day I started keto myself, not anybody in my family, just by myself. And my husband would stare at my plates and he's like, you're gonna gain weight, like don't eat that. Because I was eating, like
Bacon.
morning I was
Bacon.
eating, yeah, in the morning I was eating bacon and avocado, or eggs with cheese and avocado, or eggs, cheese, and bacon and butter. And
Yeah.
like I think I even went through like one day where I had butter in my coffee, which I never did again. I was like, that's just not for me. So, but I saw people doing it, so I was like, oh, let me try it. I'm gonna try butter in my coffee.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
It was a no. I like to eat my calories. So
Got it. Got it.
yeah, so I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that again.
And it's so
And
funny. It's so funny
uh-huh.
that you said about the like your friend not giving you the meal plan or giving you like, hey, these are the things you need to eat and letting you do the research on your own. Because
Yeah,
I find that with a lot of the clients that I train across the world, it's like the same nutritional protocol does not work with everybody.
it
Like
doesn't.
we have to find out how many calories your body needs and your macros, how to blend your macros properly to make everything mesh well with you and for you. And a lot of times people want that magic key. You remember we talked about that
I
key?
remember I even
Yeah,
made a post about it because I thought it was like I had never thought about it that way before until I told you that the key, you have the key. It's just that
yeah,
key, like any other key, needs to be carved out for your specific lock.
yeah.
So
And your key does not work with my lock. Like your key does not unlock what I need in order to help me out in my fitness journey. Of course,
right.
we take tips and strategies from one another and say maybe I'll implement this or implement that. But in order,
Yes.
like your actual key will look different than my actual key that unlocks my fitness goals.
That's right, exactly. And even within keto, like we talked about this, there's like so many different types of keto
Mm-hmm.
that the way that I do it might not work for the next person, or maybe I'm allergic to something like nuts or dairy. Like I know, like in keto we use dairy a lot, and there's people that are lactose intolerant, and they
Seventy
have to
percent of
modify.
people 70% of people are lactose intolerant. Like there's a lot of people that are either sensitive or intolerant. So I even make the claim that if you feel any kind of sensitivity or bubbling or anything like that, just let's eliminate it because that's your body sending signals saying that, hey, I can't process this well.
Yeah, and what I tried doing a couple of months ago was I did a fast, and I was doing keto, but like with no dairy, and to see how it affected me. And then I redid another fast, and then this time I just took out nuts instead, like to see how it was affecting me. And I feel like there's some vegetables even that bloat me. So it's like I started experimenting now that I'm kind of like in the maintenance zone. I've been experimenting with different things to see, how I feel eating these different stuff.
But you initially just mastered keto first. You had
Yeah.
mastered the protocol and mastered that one thing, and then
Yes.
you start changing different factors.
Oh yeah, I didn't change anything until like a year later. Like
Okay.
after the year, I was like, all right, I hit my goal.
Yeah.
Now what do I do?
Yeah. A lot of people tend to, like, if they're not making a ton of progress, manipulating a lot of factors.
Oh
But
yeah.
it may only need to be just one or two things that need to be changed. But
Yeah, I get a ton of messages and they're like, I've been doing keto for 3 weeks and I haven't noticed any change. And I'm like, well, it's been 3 weeks, so you might kind of want to give it a little more time. It's like it's not something that happens overnight.
And do you recommend or do you use the strips at all, like the keto strips, to see if you're in ketosis?
No, I don't. I actually never used one until a year later.
Okay.
Because like I told you, I feel that this if you're doing everything right, if you're measuring, if you're tracking your food, if if you're doing everything down to a T, there really is no need to be checking yourself for ketone levels or any of that stuff. No need for no exogenous ketones, none of those drinks. A lot of people sell these products and I never bought any of these products with like exogenous ketones, no ketone strips or anything like that. When I hit my 1 year mark, that was my first cheat meal, like real cheat meal, where I had real sugar, real bread, real all that stuff, like this.
What was it? What was your cheat meal?
Let's get started. The first thing I had actually was this Mexican sweetbread. Like I live for sweetbread, so Mexican sweetbread was my breakfast. I had a unicorn concha. I don't know if you know what those are, but they are, I'm sure you've seen it. They're like these round bread, like little pieces of bread, and they have like little swirls on top of it of sugar, like sugar icing.
Okay.
And the unicorn one is like multicolored, obviously, because it's unicorn. But usually you'll see it in pink or brown, which is the brown one is supposed to be chocolate, but they all taste the same.
Gotcha.
And a little cookie that's in the shape of a pig. That's my favorite cookie. And so that's what I have for breakfast. I had hot Cheetos are my favorite thing on the planet. So I had a whole bag of hot Cheetos.
Wow.
I had Olive Garden pasta, like galore, pizza, real pizza. I had a pizza with my gym. I went to the gym to work out that day. Okay. And then after that, my gym family is my friends basically now, So they wanted to celebrate my cheat meal with me as well. So we went to a pizza buffet, and yeah, we got down.
So you did that for one day, and how quickly were you back in action with keto or eating healthy?
It took me like 2 days to get back into ketosis because I got the strips to experiment. Yep. So I got the strips, and the next morning, my birthday was on a Tuesday. So Wednesday I was negative, and then Thursday I was in the mid-pink zone, so I was already in ketosis. Then by Friday I was in purple. I was like deep ketosis. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're doing ketosis now, and that's kind of where you're at. Give us an idea of your weekly fitness regimen, your mindset regimen. Like, give me some things that you do on a weekly basis. We're trying to get into the things that'll help some folks right now.
Like in the beginning, like I said, I was doing that 6-week challenge, which was kickboxing, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a crunch to save my life. Like I could barely lift my head off the ground, and that was considered a crunch for me.
Gotcha.
That was it. Like I couldn't. Now my chest touches my knees. Like my level is of fitness is so much different than it was a year ago. But I don't like the gym, and I've said this a million times. I don't like it, but I have made a commitment to myself. I make an appointment every day, and I have to be at that appointment, and that appointment is at the gym. So I go every single day at 6:30, whether I want to or not. It's just what I do, like I know that I don't want to go. I still get in my car and I get there not wanting to go. And then once I'm there, it's kind of like, why didn't I want to come here again? Like
Yeah.
all my friends are here because I made a ton of friends at the gym now, so all my friends are here and everybody's asking me, hey, Elena, how are you? And, everybody's so friendly to me. So why wouldn't I go, and so I'm very thankful by the time I finished my workout that I did make myself go. A month ago, I started incorporating weightlifting, and I do that in the morning now. So like I do 5 to 6 is my weightlifting schedule. I don't want to get up. God knows I don't want to get up from my bed. But I will set like 10 alarms. I'm not even joking. Like I set my phone alarm, and then that one is easy to reach and turn off. So like I know that's the first alarm that goes off, and I'm like, boop, and then snooze for another 5 minutes. My second alarm is on my dresser, so I have to get up.
Get up, yeah.
And turn it off.
I set an alarm. My alarm is across the room, and my wife hates it. My alarm is across the room. I have to actually get up close to the bathroom. So I have to actually get up, walk across the room, go beside the bathroom where there's a plug, and pick my phone up off the floor and cut it off. And and honestly, like when I get to that point, I'm already awake. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just go in the bathroom, get my day started. And a lot of times, if it's close to me, if my phone's close to me, I'm hitting the snooze button, or I'm cutting the alarm off.
Yeah. one of both ways. Like, sometimes my phone is it. That's all it takes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I hit snooze, and then the second alarm will do it for me. The third one is in my restroom, so it's super loud because it echoes, So I have to get up and turn that one off. And then I have a fourth one in my daughter's room, and if that goes off, she hates me for the rest of the day. So I try to make it a thing to like get up by the third one so I can go and turn off the fourth one.
Wow. So that is a good way to build in, like, you inherently know that you're lazy or don't want to get up. So you don't want to piss your daughter off. That's so smart, but you don't want to piss your daughter off. Your husband, you'll piss him off with 10 alarms.
He's fine. He'll get over it.
But your daughter, you're like, okay, I don't want her to be mad at me all day. That is a good way to look at it. For me, it is my wife. Like, if I don't get up and walk my butt across that room, she's gonna be livid all day long.
My husband can sleep through alarms. He doesn't go to sleep. He dies. Like, he's he's gone. Like from whatever time to whatever time he's asleep, he's dead. Like he can't hear nothing.
That's so funny. So making it a non-negotiable, that's super important. That's a good takeaway for my folks. Making it a non-negotiable.
Yes, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about me going to the gym. I'm telling you, I will be there. It is like they already know that. They don't even ask me anymore. Are you coming tomorrow? Because they know that I'm going to be there. Yeah. And if I don't go, like I take my workout clothes. Like whenever we go out of town, I take my workout clothes and I make sure that whatever hotel we're staying at has a gym, and I'm gonna hit that gym no matter what. So same thing applies when we go out of town. I still make it to the gym. It has to happen because I know myself, and if I let one day slip, one day will turn into 3 days, 3 days will turn into a week, and so on. So I can't allow myself to do that. And I always told myself, one day you're gonna be so used to it that you're gonna be wanting to go. That day hasn't arrived yet, but I do make it a point to go, and I'm not gonna give up on myself, So it's like, I'm not gonna say that I completely hate it because I really do enjoy that pain. I don't know, like you kind of become addicted to it. It becomes like second nature to you almost, like you need to feel it. Mm-hmm. So whenever I don't go to kickboxing, I miss it so much because I know that how I push myself when I'm there. And it's not the same to go to something that you're used to, like forcing yourself, like, challenging yourself to do versus doing it on your own and kind of like, oh, I did a good job, No, I need to be pushed. So I'm constantly looking for a new challenge all the time.
Got it. So we're about to kind of get in. We're going to wrap things up here in a bit, but I wanted to just kind of get into some things that my peeps can take away from your fitness journey, and something that you wish you would have known when you first started, or give them some strategy or something like that. Give them something that you wish you would have known when you first started with your journey that's helped you out a lot, knowing what you know now.
I know we talked about patience, and I had told you that, patience was the one thing. But to be honest, I think that we all know that, like we all know that we have to be patient, that nothing's going to happen overnight and all, and all of that. I think what happens is that we all set expectations, and whenever we don't hit those expectations, we tend to give up. And the one thing that I have learned through this, like 100%, is not to set expectations. Like, do not say, I'm going to lose 5 pounds this week, and then you're not going to hit it, and then you want to go eat pizza because you didn't hit your goal anyway, so screw it. Why don't we just go and eat,
Mm-hmm.
And I think the expectations thing, I thought a lot about it after I talked to you. But that expectation, whenever I let go of my expectations of myself, I think that's when I was a little more free to have fun with it and just roll, like just continue going with it. And also not allowing myself to, to cheat here and there, because before, like 2 weeks in or 3 weeks in, when I didn't see a change, I would tend to go and just give up and go eat normal food because, like I've been giving it my all this whole time and nothing happened. So why don't I deserve to have a chocolate, or to have this or to have that? And that, like I said, patience has to tie into that, because you do have to be very patient. It's not going to happen in 3 weeks. And if you don't hit those expectations, you still gotta maintain that work. You just have to keep going, even if you're not hitting your goals, because you will hit them if you're consistent. So
it's kind of like having a vehicle and being in the vehicle and knowing that there's a destination, but not really like checking every 5 minutes to see whether I'm at the destination
there or not. Yeah. Yeah. It's that's why it's called a journey. Yep. So, it's a journey, and this journey it really is a never ending journey, because to me, I remember when I was about 2 or 3 months in, my husband said, well, what's your goal? When are you going to stop? When are you going to be done with eating this way? And in my mind, I always said, well, whenever either A, I hit 150 pounds, or B, I get to a size 6. Because to me, I've never been a size 6 in my life,
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, the day I get to a size 6, that's the day that I'm going to stop. But I've learned so much throughout this journey that I now know it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. And, it'll be okay here and there to have a celebration and eat cake or whatever. It's nothing's going to happen. It's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I know that it's going to be a once in a while thing, not a once every week or once every 2 weeks. Like a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, I can have a cheat meal every Sunday. No, you can't. You cannot. Like, realistically speaking, if you want to be in ketosis, you cannot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're gonna be going up and down, up and down, up and down.
Exactly. It takes you a couple of days to get back into ketosis.
Yeah. If you're not doing keto, and if you're on on a separate diet, and you have enough self-control to have one cheat meal a day, hey, power to you. More power to you, but I don't have that self-control. Mm-hmm. And I feel like keto keeps me in control. And I know, I plan ahead. I know when I'm going to have my cheat meal. My birthday was a cheat meal. I was supposed to have a cheat meal for my daughter's birthday last Sunday, but I didn't see anything worth it. So it wasn't worth it for me. I didn't do it. I let her eat something she wasn't supposed to eat. Everybody did. I did not.
Gotcha.
I did not. But yeah, consistency, patience, all of that is just a formula for success, basically. So it's we all know this. It's not something new. It's not something that I can tell anybody, and like be like, oh, I didn't know that. We all know this. It's just you really do have to have discipline and apply it in your everyday life, and not allow yourself to say, hey, once a week is okay. It's not okay. If you're like me and you're a food addict, that's not gonna work.
So a lot of people are probably going to hit me up and want to get in touch with you. So how would someone get in touch with you if they want to ask you any questions or maybe wanted to continue to follow your journey? Where would they find you?
I'm on Instagram right now mostly. It's the Stair Lady, and I'm on YouTube. I just started my YouTube from my husband, who said you should do a YouTube channel, and I try to find some time to do videos and recipes and stuff like that we do. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube as well under the Stair Lady.
Awesome. So that pretty much wraps up our show, and I wanted to thank Elena for coming on again.
Anytime. I have a blast talking to you, so you're awesome, and you're an inspiration as well.
I try to help out whenever I can.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I'm so jealous of those muscles. I'm like, can I have a quarter of that, just a little bit?
I think everyone has a calling in life, and I try to do what I can with what I got to help as many people as I can. So,
nice.
That pretty much wraps it up for the Transformation Motivation Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you gathered something that you can implement in your fitness journey. Until next time, guys, Fit Emmett.